Ladies and gentlemen, it's a Monday afternoon / evening. We've got Zeke Gregoire on here. And you know what, Zeke? Sometimes the timing just adds up.
Does it?
It just connects perfectly to where we get a good little extra nugget to supplement something that we'll be talking about. And so, as you see in the title today, we're talking about those Dallas Cowboys and the Cincinnati Bengals, too. But the Cowboys gave us some extra ammo today, and well, we're gonna dissect it in this show.
Jerry Jones makes it too easy, quite honestly.
He does. Like there's some times where I just sit back, as an accredited member of the media now, and I'm just like, Jerry, you just give me low hanging fruit, brother. You know what? In the month of July, I'll take it and run with it. I just, how is the media gonna feel when him and Aaron Rodgers are both out of the league?
They're gonna be pretty upset. You know who's gonna be really upset? Your favorite, Colin Cowherd.
Colin Cowherd, Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Smith. I mean, so many of those guys thrive off of the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And well, we're gonna have to shift gears at some point.
Good. Dallas ain't do nothing for nobody. I'm so tired of America's team. You ain't shit.
I mean, they haven't won anything, of note since '95, and so I just have to call it for what it is. I mean, great brand, most valuable organization in the NFL. There's the focus. Let me change the overlay here while we start talking about the Cowboys. The focus of the Cowboys, and it's interesting that we're talking about them today since I'm a former employee. So I can shed some insight onto this. The focus of the Cowboys has always been about maximizing revenue. And I say that at the surface, and I'm sure that people out there will get a good chuckle about that. But I'm being completely serious. That is the focus of the organization. They're very good at it. They're very good at leveraging their brand value, right? I mean, what they did at the Star, you and I toured the Star with each other, back in November. It was illustrious, right?
It was great, but it just, you could just tell it was more about everything that's not football and more like, how much can we sell the Star to you? It's like
exactly,
and
you could feel that when you were there.
Yeah.
And the same thing with, the stadium. You see that there, like it's just opportunities to make money everywhere, and then the cheerleader brand too, like really leveraging that's the Cowboys' bread and butter. That's their focus right now. That's their identity as a team. And I'm going to say it right here. That's not a dig. There's nothing inherently wrong with that. That's their niche. That's their niche that they have chosen to follow, and they're very good at it. But as far as that's going to supplement our argument going into our breakdown of the Cowboys here. Going into this season, I look at the Cowboys roster. There were some changes, predominantly at the head coaching position. That's always something you have to evaluate. There's been some personnel changes, but I look around at the Cowboys roster and I see, and I'll get grilled for this one. I don't care. I'm going to say it. There's one exceptional player on that team, CeeDee Lamb. Micah Parsons is very good.
When he's healthy.
When he's healthy. There's other edge rushers out there that are a lot better. And then
a lot better is kind of crazy. He's an athletic freak.
He's good, but you look at T.J. Watt, your Nick Bosa's out there, like your Aiden Hutchinson's. I think that there's some guys that exceed him. He's in the top 5. I will say he's in the top 5, but there's Max Crosby. He's not Max Crosby right now. So
the hell with Max Crosby.
I know that's Zeke's boy. He loves Max Crosby.
Hate Max Crosby.
Son of a bitch. and so yeah, you look at the makeup of this roster right now, and there's a lot of good. There's a lot of good players. There's not a lot of great.
Well, that's tough, and I feel bad for Dak because there's been a lot of performances where Dak's balled out. But you do also kind of know what you're going to get with Dak, too. I mean, he's only going to bring you so far. But he's in one of those situations where, and I hate it, but everybody always compares between him and Tua, which is crazy to me because they play very different. But just those guys who every once in a while you watch him like he's pretty good at what he does. And other games are like, is this really worth the investment? I don't know. And that's the hard part for Dallas. I mean, luckily for Dak, he's had CD, who, you know, how I feel about CD Lamb. He's been one of my favorites since college. But the thing with Dallas is, like last year, the whole we're gonna be aggressive. They didn't do a goddamn thing. They didn't do nothing this year. Like at what point? Like, and you heard Jerry today. He talked about for a very small amount of time, he thought about maybe stepping down. We all know that's never gonna happen. That man will not step down until he dies.
That was a very interesting press conference, by the way, and that was what we were alluding to with the extra nugget about kind of throwing shade at Micah Parsons and Trevon Diggs. Which is insane.
Honestly, I wanted to be baffled, but I wasn't, because I'm not surprised by anything Jerry Jones does at this point.
I mean, he talked about glory holes last year, so now we're on to this.
Exactly. I almost feel bad for the old man, but it's time to hang it up for Jerry. It really is. And some of those comments today, like you can't do that.
Well, because you can only tolerate it for so long. Like, and it is one of those things. He loves it very much. He loves what he does very much, and so I don't want to sit there and be that person that's like, oh, you got to step down. You got to step, because part of me feels bad. Like he genuinely does love what he does, but there is a certain point where, as an organization, you're battling this from a PR standpoint, and it's a PR fire. Every offseason, there's a PR fire at some point. And now, this today, especially with the timing, the middle of July, this is going to be a hell of a fire I have to put out, because there is nothing going on out there right now. So people see this with the Cowboys, that this is going to be peppered all over sports talk, radio, media, TV tomorrow morning. You bet your bottom dollar.
Well, of course, and everything's always amplified when it's Dallas. You know how that goes. And that's why a lot of people don't want to go to Dallas. It's a circus. Yeah. It is. I mean, the only way anybody's going is if you're paying. And Jerry don't like to pay. He got a lot of money, but he's stingy with it.
Well, the other thing too, I heard something interesting today when I was preparing for this show about the Cowboys' financial situation.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're essentially, if they want to pay Micah Parsons, which ideally, if you want that defensive line to have any kind of poof to it this year, if you will, like any kind of burst to this thing, you're going to want to pay the man. But they did exactly what they did with CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
They waited too long, and now the market has adjusted. Because you had TJ Watt, who just got paid, correct me if I'm wrong, $40 million the other day.
I want to say it was 41.
Yes, it was 41. And so now, you compare Micah Parsons' pressure rate to his, you compare a couple other statistics to his, and his agent is going to have some leverage when it comes to, hey, well, TJ Watt got paid $41 million. Hey, ideally, it's going to be justified market value for him to be paid at least $38 million. But how him and his agent are going to work. They're going to negotiate with Dallas. They're going to say, we want 41, right?
Oh, he's going to want more than 41.
But they're going to want more. They're going to exceed.
He wants to be the top of the market. That's just how guys are. That's how it's going to be. But here's the thing. If you're Dallas, the clock's ticking, because Trey Hendrickson's going to get his contract. He's going to get paid.
Yeah.
Cincinnati has to pay him. They don't have a choice. That defense is horrendous. They don't have any shot in hell at stopping anybody already as it is. But I mean, with not paying Trey Henderson, that's just not going to slide. So I'd want to get it done before that deal gets done, because then you're going to have to receive that one.
Okay, and that one is going to have to be north of 41, because Trey Hendrickson has led the league in sacks the past 2 years.
It's dragged out at this point. It's the whole back and forth, and listen, I'm all for, guys getting what they feel like they truly earned. And Trey Hendrickson has absolutely earned it.
Yes.
But Cincinnati historically is pretty stingy with that money. So Jerry needs to get over it. He really does, because he's another one. All right, as far as the defense goes, I mean, you need Micah Parsons.
Yes.
You need him.
You know, I look at their defense here, and there's guys on that I like. That I like over Sean. I think Dante Fowler Jr. Like it's all right. You
Been
know,
around forever.
um, it's not elite. It's just good, really good players.
It's just a bunch of guys who have been, well, Overshawn's young, and I feel bad for him because he's gotten injury after injury
Yeah,
after injury. But there's not a spot where I look at them, I'm like, they're real deep there. They just don't. I mean, I'm pretty sure Tank Lawrence is gone, right? I'm pretty sure
yes,
I want to say he's in Seattle now, I
yes,
believe.
sir.
Um, they're not deep defensively. So again, it's one of those things where you don't really have a choice. I mean, and obviously they're gonna pay him; they don't have a choice. But like Trayvon Diggs, like we're still relying on Trayvon Diggs. Like, come on.
Deron Bland, you know, I mean,
Who
and
had
those
the
are two
fluke
like
season? I don't care what anybody says. That was a fluke season.
well, and I want to use that to build into something with you. And like this is something that you and I talk about a lot when it comes to corners. I mean, number one, it's important to draft these guys, draft them well. Philly's done really good at that.
Wow.
Keep them for 2-3 years. Let somebody else pay them. Let Tennessee pay them. Let Cleveland pay them. And you go on your merry way. That's what KC, that's what Philly has done. That's why they're in the position that they're in last year. You look at Trevon Diggs and Deron Bland, and they're decent corners, but they're flashy corners, number one, because they're feast or famine.
Right.
They're either going to nip that route, pick it off, and get a pick six, or they're going to get burnt toasted.
Yeah.
And we've seen that happen a lot. We've seen both sides that happen to both Diggs and Bland.
100%, especially Trayvon. I've never been a big Trayvon guy. He just don't do it for me. And listen, Miami's a team who since majority of Chris Greer's time, cornerbacks, except for this year, obviously because we got no money, but cornerbacks is where we always spend a lot of money. So I believe me, I know what it's like to spend money on a goddamn corner.
Never goes anywhere.
And we've had some all right ones, but like we've gotten burnt by it a million times. Byron Jones.
Yeah, that was highway robbery.
That was, yeah, it was. It really was. Kendall Fuller was only $8 million, but still. So as far as Dallas goes, again, Michael will get paid. And yeah, is he probably going to be a little upset about Jerry Jones' comments? Yeah, of course he is. But hey, shit.
Once that guy gets his bag, he's gonna be fine.
Say what you want, Jerry. Say whatever you want. I don't give a shit.
That's Micah. Once he gets his bag, he's gonna anything Jerry Jones said is not gonna matter.
Well, and Micah Parsons, unfortunately, is another one of those guys who sometimes, on the podcast and all that, he's a little too much, in my opinion. But
oh yeah, no, it's at the end, if you're talking an organization like the Cowboys, let it fly. There are certain organizations in the NFL that would say, all right, you're going to adjust the way you say things on here or the fucking podcast comes to an end. One of those organizations is up in Foxborough, Massachusetts. I mean, growing up, hey, you try something like that on that Bill Belichick, Bob Kraft team, goodbye. Good riddance. He'd probably trade his ass, to be honest with you. Like, that's just how shit got done up there. I wouldn't want to try it in Philly. I'll be honest. I wouldn't want to try it in Philly. I think that they do things a certain way up there. Right? All of your really great teams that you see out there right now, the level of distraction is very low. And the Cowboys, between what goes on with Jerry Jones in the offseason, and then you add Micah Parsons to the mix, it gets a little distracting at times. And then just the dynamic with everything being about the brands, it takes the focus off of football and off of winning games. And it's a challenge. And I look at it like if I'm a head coach of this team, is that something that you want to endure for years? I think that's a reason why Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys were at a stalemate last year. I think that's why they never saw eye to eye. Was I think Mike McCarthy could have given a shit. He did an okay job there.
He did enough. He
did enough, but how long are you going to endure that?
Yeah. Well, listen, Mike McCarthy's a guy who has been around forever and has just been good. But all that time in Green Bay, like, didn't go very well.
He had one of the greatest quarterbacks of our generation. That's what helped him out with getting to a Super Bowl,
Well, right. And the fact that you only got one ring, like that, inexcusable.
I'll never live that one down. And there's another conversation for another day. Yeah. But going back to the Cowboys here, there's a player in particular I want to ask you about. Like, how do you think George Pickens fits into the scheme of this offense and the culture of this team?
Awful. He's wanting to fight everybody in the back of the end zone, and he's not wanting to block. It's like, listen, man, I get it. You want to make the flashy plays, and you got good. He's got great hands. Great, I'll give him credit for that. But at the same time, be a teammate, brother. Like, if you got to get out there and block on the run, block. Don't pout because you're not getting the ball every play. Like,
I think him and CD are opposite players, and that's what's insane about the receiving core.
Well, and George Pickens walks around like he's a one. You're not a one, buddy. I hate to tell you, you're not a one.
CD Lamb is a one. Amon-Ra St. Brown is a one. Jamar Chase is a one.
Right. Not even in the remotely in the same conversation. I don't care what people say about George Pickens. I'm so tired. Well, he can make this catch and he can do that. He's a lousy teammate. For at least from what I've seen. Obviously, I don't share a locker room with the guy, but from what he portrays, he don't seem like a great teammate to me. And when you add that with how Dallas already is, my guess is it's not going to end well.
It doesn't look great. Like the gut feeling is not great. Yeah. Like if I going into last season with the Jets and Aaron Rodgers, like I just had a gut feeling that it wasn't going to go well.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't go out and outright say this is going to fall apart because we haven't seen anything. Like the same with George Pickens and the Cowboys. I haven't seen him run a play with the Cowboys in the regular season game. So I'm not one to sit here and tell you, oh yeah, this is going to fall apart. Right. But I have that gut feeling and internally that it just like you said, given the way that Dallas operates and the way that he is, the pairing. Is it another weapon for Dak? Absolutely. And that receiving core was depleted last year. So that is a positive. It's they upgraded something. And I will say this, Dallas's backfield is a lot better this year than it was last year. I like Javonte Williams. There's a lot of promise there. He's injured a lot, but there's a lot of promise there. I hope that this is the year he can get it together and that Dallas's offensive line can take another step up because I think drafting Tyler Booker was great. I think that's a real glue guy for that line too. Like we talk about how important it is for lines to have chemistry, and he's a real glue guy. And I worked with him at Alabama. When I was there, JC was the glue guy. It's like he just didn't have that voice yet because it was JC's line. But the year after, last year, Tyler really took over in Alabama, and I think you can see those same leadership components overtake here, especially with guys like Tyron Smith and Zach Martin gone.
Yeah, Zach Martin retiring is, that's huge. That Zach Martin was the guy on that offensive line.
Yeah,
barely ever missed games, consistent play. He will be missed. I promise you that.
Oh yeah, and there's going to be an immediate impact on that line, and I think that drafting Tyler Booker is great because of the linemen in this draft, given both his talent and his characteristics, he's the best person to replace somebody like Zach Martin, and he's not going to be Zach Martin. Nobody will ever be Zach Martin in the organization. I'm not going to sit here and say that he is, but given the guys out there this year, all of his qualities, I think that Tyler Booker is the best option you could have possibly asked for there. And then, looking at that running back core too, like I said, adding Javonte Williams is huge. Miles Sanders, middle of the road running back. I like Jadon Blue. They got Phil Maffa from Clemson, who I've always been a fan of, but I don't know how he'll be at the NFL level.
I'm gonna be honest with you. That backfield's gonna struggle, and it's gonna struggle bad. Miles Sanders is awful. He's awful. I mean, let's call it for what it is. Ever since he had that performance in the Super Bowl against KC a couple years, I mean, all the confidence is gone. Gone. Javonte can't stay healthy now. When Javonte came out of UNC, I thought, I mean, you heard me talk about it all the time. I'm like, dude, this guy's a problem. He's a bowling ball.
Oh yeah.
Catch out of the backfield, but dude, again, he can't stay healthy. He can't stay healthy. And you're not gonna be able to rely on either one of those guys. You're just not.
And like you've got two decent rookies, but it's always a question mark.
Well, yeah, it's always a question mark. You're gonna go through growing pains, and playing running back in the NFL ain't easy.
No, it's not. I mean, and especially when you're playing behind a line like that, like this is a Cowboys offensive line that's taking shape right now.
Right.
It's not fully developed. I think it can be good here in a few years if it has the potential to be, but like it's the same thing I say about the Giants all the time.
Ugh.
They have it in place, but they have to make the right decisions down the line if they want to maintain a good trajectory with that line. Because if they don't, then it's just going to fall stale. But they have to make the right decisions down the line to ensure that line continues to grow and continues to blossom. And so I think we've covered everything, offensive line, defensive line. We touched on the secondary, the running back core, receiving core, Dak. I do want to end talking about Dak by saying that I think he does get a disproportionate amount of criticism a lot. Yes, does he fall apart late in games a lot? But there are some times where I watch this guy play, and I'm like, there's not a lot of guys in the league that can perform as consistently as he does. Like statistically, he's a very good quarterback. And you mentioned that earlier. I just wanted to build off that for a second because I think that he does get a disproportionate amount of criticism.
No, and he absolutely does. I just don't think he's been in an ideal situation to be truly maximized. Who knows? One day, hopefully, he can get up out of Dallas. It's gonna take a lot of things to change Dallas around. And Dak's one of those guys where, like, I root for Dak. Like, Dak seems like a good dude, and I truly I root for him, but it's not gonna happen in Dallas, my brother. I promise you that.
I've rooted for him since the days back in Starkville with Mississippi State, and I wanted to see him succeed since then, and he did great at State, went to the Cowboys, immediate success there, but it's when you're in that situation, it's tough to really blossom into what you can completely be, like what your full potential is. And so you want to take a shot at the over-under for the Cowboys this year?
What's the line at?
7.5. That's what Vegas has them at.
Okay, so they're thinking pretty much what I'm thinking, I'm guessing. So, all right.
That one's one. Look, I'm going to say the one for Dallas is spot on. The one for Cincy, you're going to be a little shocked about. I'm just going to put that out there.
You know me. Even in the Super Bowl year, I've never been a believer.
I know, and I tip my cap to that. You've been heavy on that.
I've maintained that. So 7.5.
Are you going over or under?
I'm gonna go under.
7-10, 6-11.
7-10. And the only reason I'm gonna say that is because they are going to struggle in division play.
Yes.
Even with the Giants, I think. Truly.
I was gonna say the Giants are a better football team this year than they were last year. It's they're no longer a pushover like they were last year. I think that this team can, especially the way they match up with Dallas, I think they can give them legitimate fits this year.
Yeah.
I mean, they did last year, especially that first game on Thursday night. They gave Dallas a lot of fits, and everybody was healthy at that point.
Yeah, I was at the second one, and that was just. I don't even think that was football. I don't know what that was.
I mean, we saw two backups play on Thanksgiving.
It was awful. It was so bad.
Of that week, man, we just pushed through that game. I will say, like the The moments before it were great. The night before was a lot of fucking fun.
Thank goodness for Captain Morgan. That's all I can say. My goodness.
I'm going to push back on that. I was in an Uber pretending that I was Winnie the Pooh at one point that night.
Exactly.
I looked at the Uber driver and said, "Oh, Christopher Robin, do you have any money?"
That's what Drew Lock will do to you. So
yeah, it'll put you into mental delirium. But
yeah.
if I had to predict a record for the Cowboys this year, I'm torn between 7-10 and 8-9. I'm probably gonna say 7-10.
Yeah.
My range is 6-10 wins because Dallas always is one of those teams where they can muster up some fluky wins out of nowhere. So I won't put that past them. But I also just don't think they're built the way they were in 23 or in 21 or in 22. I don't think this team's constructed the same. No more Zach Martin, no more DeMarcus Lawrence. There's a lot of guys out there anymore.
It's a new coaching staff too, so you just don't know yet.
And new coaching staff. How does Dallas adapt and navigate with that? There's a lot of uncertainty, and with a decently good roster, with a lot of uncertainty, I think 7-10 just feels right.
Yeah.
All right, now let's go up to the banks of the Ohio River.
You see, that's already depressing as it is.
On the border of Ohio and Kentucky. What's that?
Listen, I'm a Buckeye fan, okay? But still, the state of Ohio might be one of the most depressing states in all of America. I mean that.
New Jersey takes the cake on that. But Ohio is very much in the hunt.
New Jersey is the armpit of America. I mean, there's just no doubt about it.
What you know about Secaucus?
Hey, listen, you drive through there and Jersey just has that smell. You're like, people live here? Like, it blows your mind. It's like, it doesn't make sense.
Paint chips. That's when we were driving by Newark, I smelled paint chips that for a solid 5-10 minutes. It was going through my vents and everything.
So I'd rather smell that. Because what I was smelling the other week wasn't that. I'll tell you that.
Paint chips and ass. Like that's how it smelled when I was driving to New Jersey. It was pretty bad.
So the Cincinnati Bengals, huh? You're really gonna do this to me?
I am, and you know what? In fact, the floor is yours. I'm gonna let you go. Just like I did for the Jaguars.
Well, if you take away Joe Burrow and you take away Jamar Chase, you know what you have for the Bengals? Absolutely nothing.
That's true.
Zach Taylor ain't it. I'm sorry. I don't have belief in Zach Taylor. I don't firmly believe he's a true leader of men. And that's a little harsh. I know that. But at the same time, I've seen your back against the wall many times. And you struggle. And I don't care about the magical fluke, and it was a fluke Super Bowl run. People could say, "Oh, Super Bowl runs aren't flukes." It was a fluke.
It
was a fluke.
The Bears in the Super Bowl growing up,
exactly.
With Cam Newton, we've seen it
exactly. So the thing that will never change, Joe Burrow will not get a Super Bowl ring in Cincinnati because of two things. Now, I'll give them credit for the offensive line because they've continued to invest draft capital and money into the offensive line, and it just hasn't panned out. Okay, you've at least tried to give that a shot. Defensively, though, I don't even think you care about playing defense.
There's no effort as far as building that defense goes.
There's no effort. Their secondary is just as bad as ours.
Which,
I mean, it's bad. And so again, they will pay Trey Hendrickson because again, they have to. But Joe Burrow can't be on him every week to put up 34 plus. Especially when your old line is pretty goddamn shaky. Like, it's gonna get to a point where he's gonna have a couple weeks where he's not Joe Cool. It happens. Jamar Chase, he's gonna have some down games. Jamar Chase can't go Can't go for 180 every game. Like, I mean,
Well, and that's just that's the thing. And I saw this with the Miami Hurricanes last year.
mm,
I mean, Cam Ward had to be on his. If Miami wanted a chance of winning any game last year, Cam Ward had to be on, and luckily he had. I mean, a fucking Heisman caliber season. So, of course, which I mean, he could have potentially got my vote. I know he didn't win at the end of the day, but for a quarterback, he had a Heisman caliber season last year.
yeah.
If he didn't have that, Miami's not sitting with 10 wins. That's what held them back from a playoff spot last year. If they had anything of a defense, they could have gone into Penn State and beat Penn State. I stand on that. Like, that's how good that offense was. But whenever you're looking at a situation and you can see it adding up to where the quarterback and a certain receiver can't afford to have an off day, because I'm not going to sit here and make excuses and say, "Oh, well, some days you just don't have your fastball." At that level, you're expected to deliver. I acknowledge that, but it's just human nature. But I mean, anybody with anything, there's days that we come on here and we don't have our A game. I mean, anything performance related. There's just some days where you don't have your fastball. Joe Burrow is going to come out some days and throw 3 picks. Jamar Chase won't be able to get open. We'll get clamped up by somebody. We'll have 29 receiving yards. It's going to happen some days. And so, but those days that happen, Cincinnati is going to lose. There's no maybe. They're going to lose because those guys need to produce if they want to win, because that's how bad that defense is. I mean, whenever the game, I'll tell you, Zeke, where it really crystallized for me last year was the Monday night game against Washington. I mean, I just sat there and watched the quarterback just slice and dice them. And it's not the first time we saw Jaden Daniels do that. I mean,
that was his coming out party, though.
That was his coming out party, and I've never seen a rookie torch a defense like that in my entire life, just effortlessly in the NFL. That was my jaw. I couldn't believe what I was watching.
He did whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted, however he wanted, and it just didn't matter.
It was unreal. He had complete control over that game and flowing the tempo of that game. And what's crazy is that just like it was all season, Cincinnati offensively was overshadowed. Joe Burrow had a great game. Jamar Chase had a great game, right? But it was overshadowed. It didn't matter because they lost. Just like Joe Burrow had an MVP caliber season. You could say his season was right up there with Josh Allen and Lamar.
100%.
But
it absolutely was.
It's not gonna get the same limelight because they missed the playoffs.
Well, and in today's world with the way media is, I mean, you have so much access to the NFL now. On the sidelines, there's cameras and this and that. I watched Quarterback on Netflix, and Joe, with Joe Burrow being on it, dude, and you watch him go week to week, and it's just like you start to feel for the guy because it's like he's back there just getting pounced on and still putting up crazy numbers. And then what does his defense do?
Nothing.
And it's just like it gets to a point, man, where like, how long can you do that?
Well, and that's the thing. And every situation we saw with this growing up eventually eroded. Most notably Andrew Luck. I mean, it gets to a certain point, like you're saying, how long can you take it? And you can only be a leader. You can only be that guy. You can only maintain that level of focus and balance for so long until you reach a point and whatever it is, whether it's going to another team, requesting a trade, or even retiring. Like Andrew Luck was not in the physical shape to keep going. And so I don't want to see Joe Burrow get to that point. And I'm not going to say it's going to happen, but that at this rate, it is a possibility. And, Russell Wilson's the other one. I mean, for years, especially after they moved off of Max Unger, for years he was getting pounded. And eventually the relationship deteriorated. And so Joe Burrow staying level-headed now, but I can even see it on the sidelines at some point now. Like you can see the frustration on his face.
Well, and he said it. He was like, I'm not the type of guy to get up in dudes' faces and yell at him and this and that. He said, that's not who I am.
Yeah.
But you could tell as the season went on, there was a couple of times where I got pretty pissed off because it's like, give me something. Like I'm not asking you to be a top 5, top 10 defense. Just make a stop in a pivotal moment in a game, and they can't.
They can't. And
And
in clutch situations, they can't.
in that division, one of the toughest, most physical division in football, you need a good defense.
Oh,
You
yeah.
need
I
a good
mean,
defense.
Baltimore's has been getting better. Pittsburgh's trying to figure it out, but there's a lot of dogs there. But statistically, they've been kind of inconsistent, but still a hard-hitting Pittsburgh defense. Cleveland's defense is not talked about enough. I mean, that defense is insane. And then since he's just like that outlier. And so it's a really wonky, unbalanced team here. And it's Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. It's the best wide receiver quarterback duo in the NFL. I think one of the best that we've seen in our lifetime. Like I was going through this in my head yesterday. I was like, who really is better than this? I mean, if you include tight ends too. I mean, Brady and Gronk, right? I mean, Kelsey and Mahomes, Peyton and both Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison. But like outside of that, maybe Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. But the dynamic, the chemistry that these two have dating back to LSU, it's
insane.
It's few and far between to have played with each other for that long, and for them to both be one of the best, if not the best. I think Jamar Chase is the best receiver in the NFL. I think Joe Burrow is, depending on the day, second or third best quarterback in the NFL. The lowest I give him is third. And when that's your dynamic on offense, and then your students going on the defensive side of the ball, it's if I'm a Bengal fan, it's like pulling your hair out because you know what you're capable of. You saw the Super Bowl run in 2021. Some go back to the AFC Championship in 2022, and the defense was at least had a little more substance to it. I mean, they still had Cheeto there, they still had Mike Hilton there, who I thought was someone valuable. They still had Sam Hubbard there. I like Sam Hubbard. Now he's gone too. You know, that's a big one to point out too. Was you've got the situation with Shamar Stewart right now, which is they need everything that they can possibly get on that line. In fact, the position that's holding out, bad. Trey Hendrickson, not paid yet, bad. Sam Hubbard retires, bad. It's just
piling.
This defense is a mixed bag of shit.
And let's not act like Joe Burrow also has a decent sized list of injuries, and those are the types of things where that doesn't just magically get better with age.
No,
it only gets worse. And so Joe Burrow's still going to play for plenty of time, obviously, but you want to maximize as much as you can, and I just feel like, yes, dump more money into your offense than your defense. Yes, give your quarterback all the weapons. Yes, but at the same time, you can't neglect the defense to the level that Cincinnati has and expect any different result. It's never going to change. And that's what blows my mind.
Oh, it does. It's unbelievable. And this is a team, and I've said this for a while now. This is a team that I genuinely want to see succeed. I mean, these fans have been starved for a while. When they went on this run back in 2021, they beat the Raiders in the playoffs. That was the first playoff win in my lifetime. That was the first playoff win since 1991. What happened in 1991? My mom graduated high school.
Wow, good job just aging your mom. That's great.
And so, or actually, that might have been my dad. Holy shit, 91. But yeah, sorry guys. Sorry to call you a bluff there. I mean, you're still young. You're still young at heart. That's what matters. But yeah. This fan base has been through a lot, man. The Carson Palmer injury, the run in the 2010s of making the playoffs every year, being a first round exit.
Poor Andy Dalton, man.
And then the years of just sucking that I experienced growing up, even though they had Chad Johnson.
Yeah,
it's just been rough. And so when they made that run in 2021, like I pulled for the Bengals hard. I like the Rams. I'm a big Sean McVay guy. I like Matt Stafford a lot. I like Cooper Kupp a lot. So I was happy for them. I love Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
But I was, if I'm being honest with you here, I don't like to be biased on this show. If I'm being honest, I was pulling for the Bengals in that game.
Oh, I know you were.
Because I wanted to see them get that Super Bowl. I have a really good buddy down in Alabama who's Austin, who was a huge Bengals fan, and we watched what happened there unfold live, and it's just it's still real to me. Damn it!
What did I tell you was going to happen in that game? What did I say?
You did.
I said Matt Stafford's going to do his thing, and he's going to get the ring that he so much deserved. Listen, they don't make him like Matt Stafford no more.
No.
One of the toughest dudes in the league. I mean, my goodness. That was, I mean, don't get me wrong. Even though I talked my shit about Cincinnati, it was one of those Super Bowls where I'm like, all right, realistically, I'm cool with either. I was pulling for the Rams, but for Cincy, you see these videos when they win the AFC Championship, and you see some of those die-hard fans, truly crying, because to some people, football is just a game, and ultimately it is just a game. But there is a lot of us out there that take that shit to heart, sometimes too much. But we're out there, and so for someone like me, who has, had to deal with Miami the way it's been my entire life, I know what that would have felt like for me. So to see Bengals fans experience that, that softened me up a little bit. I'm like, all right, I've been talking a lot of shit about these guys, but that's a cool moment because I know what that means for that fan base, So I do root for Cincinnati, and I respect what Joe Burrow does, but to act like, and they start slow every year. You know how hard it is to dig yourself out of a hole every year? It's exhausting.
Well, and that's just the thing. And I actually have it written down. I'll show you in my notes right here on the bottom of the page. Start fast.
Yeah, which I forgot to look, but what's off the top of your head? Do you know their first 4 games?
I'm pulling it up right now because I'll be honest, I forgot to look too, and I should have looked up their damn schedule.
God damn, Brian. He's supposed to be the Alabama graduate, the smart guy,
Hey man, I try to be, but there's sometimes where I drop the ball. Okay, the first 3 games at least are manageable.
Okay.
The week 1 is a game that they have historically struggled with. On paper, they should win, but they're going to Cleveland.
Okay.
They should win, but we know how they performed against Cleveland in the past.
Okay.
Then they've got the Jaguars week 2.
They'll win
now,
that.
You've given your thoughts on the Jaguars in the past, and so I think that they should win that game too. That's their home opener. Okay. Then they go on the road to Minnesota. Neither of us are big on Minnesota this year. I think that's a winnable game.
That's gonna be a tough game.
The next 3 are hard. The next 3 I will say are hard. Elevation change, going on the road to Denver against a really good Denver team.
Ooh.
I think that's an L.
Okay.
Then you're hosting one of the best teams in the NFL, the Detroit Lions.
Oh.
That's a 325er. I like the Lions in that one, and then they have to go to Lambeau.
Well, it's gonna be another slow start for Cincinnati.
That's the thing is they need to start fast. Like that Browns game, that Jaguars game, they can't afford to lose one of them. Those have to be wins. If they want to be a playoff team, those have to be wins. Because statistically, how seasons have gone in the past, if that's your second slate going into the season, those 3 games, going on the road to Wisconsin and Colorado, I mean, shit.
So they're home against Minnesota, though?
No, they're on the road.
Oh.
They're home against Detroit.
Oh, boy. Listen, you know how I feel about Brian Flores. He's going to get after Joe Burrow.
Oh, yeah.
And that O-line. Bad. And you know who's really going to pop off that game?
The Gink Man.
That's right. Andrew Van Ginkel. That's right. You know it.
The Gink Man's going to have a game. You can always rely on the Gink Man to have a game.
Always.
But those first 3 games are must wins. If Cincy doesn't capitalize on those, then
they're in big trouble.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough season. And so, with that said, here, I told you the number is going to shock you.
Can I take a guess?
for the over-under? Take a guess.
Is it high? Is it high?
Yes, it's on the high end. Vegas loves the Bengals. Vegas is not like Dallas.
If they went this high, this is madness. 10.5?
No, one below 9.5.
Okay. All right. I was gonna say 10.5, so that's a mighty stretch. 9.5, I can kind of
I can get it. I understand it.
It's Joe Burrow, it's Jamar Chase. It just is.
I probably would have placed it at if I had to set it, I probably would have said 8.5.
Yeah. Not. Give me the under.
I was gonna say I think that this is actually one of the best bets of the season is betting the under on that. This feels like an 8-9 football team, 8-9 or 9-8.
Yeah,
I don't see less than 9.5.
I just don't see them getting double digits. I just, with the season that Joe Burrow had last year, they struggled that much with that much of a good performance. I mean, what more can the man give you? I don't know. So,
it's like he has to do that again this year.
And then some. And it's like, good luck with that.
That is, I realistically, I look at this team and I say 8 or 9 or 9-8, and 9.5 indicates that you have to win 10 games if you want the over. So that's my gut feeling. I'm taking the under. I think that offense is electrifying enough to win quite a few, but that defense in clutch situations and
they're going to finish
a shit ton of points a game. It's not going to sustain.
They're going to finish third in the division.
You think Pittsburgh beats them?
Yep.
That's tough because I'm not.
Yep.
They probably do, just because Pittsburgh is always good to find a way to win 10 games.
Oh.
Even with the way this roster looks right now, like we've talked about that with the age on that roster. I'm not crazy about it. I think Baltimore runs away with this division like the Bills did last year.
Yeah. You just had to do that, didn't you?
I had to throw the zinger in there.
You just couldn't help yourself, could you? You don't even like the Bills. That's the problem.
No, I don't. I didn't even mean for it to be a zinger. I was just saying that the Bills are up by 3.
Now you're just getting disrespectful and lying right to my face.
The 3, I mean that was a clear runaway win. Or it makes you feel better what the Chiefs did last year, because the Chiefs did the same thing.
Yeah. Use your beloved Chiefs. Yeah.
No, they're not my beloved Chiefs. The only team beloved by me is in Foxborough, Massachusetts.
You gave up on them too.
No. Okay, listen to me here.
Time to listen is over.
Braves is there now.
Oh, here we go.
That's it. Mike Vrabel was a huge part of my childhood. I've honestly, I always said I would have a team after Brady, but I've been having my thoughts recently.
That's cute. And everyone gives Mike Vrabel all this credit for the 1 seed in Tennessee. What do you do with it?
Hey! They went to an AC championship. They were 1 seed.
Choked. If I'm not mistaken, didn't they have the lead in that game?
Hey, he didn't choke. Your boy Ryan Tannehill choked. He didn't choke.
Whoa. Hey, we don't have enough time for that. But
we're leaving that one right there. It's like I was seeing ghosts.
I'm not touching that one.
That's one of Zeke's beloveds. Oh, and speaking of Dolphins talk here, or banter, if you will.
Yeah.
Your gift is in the mail right now. Your birthday gift is in the mail, and it's something you're gonna like. It's not a Marshall Thundering Herd shirt. It's not. I
want to believe you, but I don't. Now, anybody that doesn't know, Brian always gets me these gag gifts. Thinks it's funny, a team that lost me a parlay or something. They'll buy me a shirt or a cup or some jackass gift, and I'm like, come on, man. And anytime I ever get him a gift, it's I got like a Mike Vick shirt. I got him stuff that's like a thoughtful idea, something good for your pal, No, this guy just wants to get me all raged up, and I think it's bullshit. So I texted Miss Shad. I said, listen, don't waste your money. If you're going to get me something that's going to make me mad, just don't get me anything.
No, it is. Look, you're going to like it a lot. It's a Dolphins player. You want to take one guess at who it is?
Oh, my. I know exactly who it is.
Who?
It's Liam freaking Eichenberg, ain't it?
It is not Liam Eichenberg.
Thank God, because I'm telling you right now, I will get on a flight down to Dallas, and I will find you. and I will hurt you.
Who's okay? Who'd you take? Liam Eichenberg or Deion Jordan?
Oh my god, I'm about to get sick.
Who was that other lineman that you hated years ago too? That y'all had?
Don't even give me Jesse Davis.
Yes, Jesse Davis.
Jesse Davis was still better than Liam Eichenberg. My God, but
Are you serious?
Liam Eichenberg is the only offensive lineman I have ever seen get beat so bad. He did a full split. I'm like, I don't even.
You got to find that picture. I want that picture. It
was against
funny.
Buffalo too, of course. And then every play, the man is on the ground on his knees. I'm like, Liam, like you played at Notre Dame, like they produce good linemen, and you're not that.
He's just getting toasted.
You're everything but that. So I don't know who went wrong, where it went wrong, but something went wrong.
If y'all don't know, Liam Eichenberg is Zeke's favorite player.
I hate him. I hate that man. And I felt bad for him at one point. I don't feel bad no more.
The Duck Man.
And then what does Chris Greer do? Yeah, we're gonna keep him around. Yeah, of course Chris Greer would say it. You know, I can't get into this right now. I'm gonna explode.
I can feel the blood pressure going up through the screen.
Yep.
Well, at some point we will have a Dolphins episode. That is coming. When we don't know yet, but that's on the horizon.
We'll see about that.
It is on the horizon. But this has been a pleasure today, breaking down two of the more interesting teams in the NFL. Two teams with a lot of uncertainty going into this year, and so it was, especially after the ammo they gave us today. It was cool talking Cowboys. It was my first time talking about the Cowboys as a former employee now, so it was pretty interesting. It felt weird, but we're back, and the Bengals. I always like talking Bengals.
Oh, last thing I gotta say is I'm gonna stamp this now. I'm gonna be confident enough to say that both these teams missed the playoffs this year.
I was just gonna ask you, do you think either of these teams make the playoffs?
Nope.
Well, I don't think so either. And I'm gonna have my official. I'm gonna put my official playoff bracket out here in a few weeks, like my preseason prediction out here in a few weeks. And I think I have a Super Bowl winner picked.
Training camp is just starting. What?
I mean, internally, I won't make this episode until the week before. Let me think. The week before college football starts. I'll do it that Sunday. Is it the 17th, 16th, 17th? That's what I'm going to do it is that weekend, because once college football starts, week 0 and then week 1, I got to be dialed in. So NFL, I'm going to give it its due attention on that weekend of the 16th, 17th, put out my division winners, record predictions, Super Bowl pick. And then it's going to be college football for 2 weeks. And then we're hoping, I think this should happen, Zeke and I will be live for the Cowboys-Eagles week 1 game to celebrate the return of football. I was thinking about maybe doing a pregame warm-up, a preseason warm-up too, like a half of a game.
Maybe. I don't know. I watch preseason. I do, but I don't know if I can sit up here and talk about it, because let me tell you, especially if we gotta watch Tommy DeVito again, I can't.
Well, the thing is, I kind of want to do the tune-up like ESPN does. You know how Monday Night Football has like the little tune-up on for a random game on a Monday night, and you tune in and watch it. Just thinking about maybe doing that, but it's like you're saying, to go on there and commentate the whole thing, like it's just,
we'll figure something out.
After a while, we're going to be talking about our favorite places to shop and what we put in our coffee and all this different shit, So I just we'll stick to Cowboys Eagles week 1. That'll be the grand opening for this year.
Well, my friend, it's been a pleasure.
It's been real, and we'll see you back here on Sunday.
All right.
And thank you all for watching. Have a great day.